Hi everyone, my name is Marcin Kruszkiewicz and I'm the producer of Hellraid, which is coming to PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One next year, with an early access on Steam version this fall. I'm here today to walk you through our press demo from E3 and show you what Hellraid is all about. With me are Mike,
hi,
our in-house gamepad master, and Paul,
hello guys,
who will be answering any questions you might have in chat. Today we will show you a part of one of our 3 gameplay modes. It will be the story mode. And the story mode is all about playing as a last member of a cursed kin who is forced into an uneasy alliance with an old mage, and together they are trying to stop the infernal invasion. Ready?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, so the player starts at the catacombs. It's the lower parts of the ancient monastery, and the goal here is to find the monastery's abbot, who's gone mad after spending his life researching the nature of evil. The big part of Hellraid is to find the right equipment for the job, so we've prepared like hundreds of thousands of items. They are randomly generated in the game, but within the boundaries and some kind of rules that we've developed and implemented in our looting system. So please check every corner, every dark spot. There may be some kind of cool sword. Yaha. Alright, so what you just saw were the basic combat mechanics. So the weapons have fast light hit, they have slower but powerful heavy attacks and ability to parry enemy strikes. What's worth mentioning that the different weapons have different trajectories, so it matters in terms of damage distribution when we are struggling with a group of enemies. Alright, so as you can see, player can also dodge. Dodging is a very important part of our combat system because it allows you to avoid enemies' attacks and especially projectiles, and allows you also to manage the distance between you and the enemy. Particularly, you can combine some leg movement, so-called dashing, with applying strikes. You could show the heavy hit with the dodge, maybe. Yep, not on this one, okay. You need to be patient, Mike, you cannot kill everything that moves. Alright, so there's the shield, and bearing a shield changes parrying into blocking. Also, a shield bash is available, but we are at the beginning of character development here, so some actions are still unavailable to Mike. Alright, and now a group that contains also elemental enemies. You can tell by the lightnings around their chests. Okay. So the elemental enemies They deal additional elemental damage. You can wear, of course, clothes that work against these spells and lower their impact. They are also partially immune to players' spells. And you could notice that Mike, after killing such enemy, was able to grab his stuff from the floor, and now he's able to use it freely. And this is great feature about our combat system, that you don't actually pick some kind of class or predefined fighting style. You can just mix everything, like offensive magic, defensive spells, melee, ranged weapon. Just you compose your warrior and you can switch fastly between the different weapons and play styles. Whoa. Oh, healing. Lucky man. Okay, so here is an example of a secret place, because there are secrets in Hellraid. In secret places you may find a weapon, you may find enchantment elements, because there's a weapon enchantment in Hellraid, and of course you can find gold. With gold you may buy a premium stuff from a blacksmith. Some of this stuff is ridiculously priced, but still worth effort. And it was quick look into our inventory. Yeah, the world of Hellraid is also based on a real Gothic architecture, so we have even a concept artist who is architect and is working on in our team, so we're pretty sure it was like this. Oh, a ghoul? No, blood hunter. Yeah, the two-handed axe is kind of heavy-duty weapon. Yeah. Sometimes in game you may find cursed shrines, like this one. By lifting the curse from the shrine, you stop the evil forces from draining power from sacred places. You can also gain a bit of extra experience. So we have a key. Yeah, let's take a shortcut, because Mike is wearing lightweight armor and he has also some potions left, so we might risk a jump. Oh, some premium item. You can see that premium items are glowing with a bigger amount of light. Okay, and now it's time for some skilled enemy. So this is the shield bearer. He has ability to block our light strikes with his shield. It's kind of tough opponent, especially when not alone. Alright, so in order to win with the shield bearer, you need to knock him out of his balance. It can be with heavy strikes or with a kick. in general, in Hellraid you will meet a variety packs of enemies that will force you to use different tactics, and they are making stuff harder when they are in different combinations, when they are in bigger groups. Yeah, you need to hurry up, Mike, and you know it, so just
sorry.
yeah, don't play with us. Okay, so if the gratings falls on your head, you're basically dead. And now an example of the environmental kill. Yeah, exactly. So environmental kill here in Catacombs. This was an example of chandelier. Oh, new shiny gloves. Wear them. Yep. And in prison, for example, you may find the spiked gratings. If you kick enemies onto there, like nailed to a wall. Oh, and this is the infernal stuff. So the infernal stuff is an example of elemental power of fire. We have different elementals, and in each kind of elemental we have different stuffs. This particular one is casting the flame throwing spell. It could be a fireball spell or magic missiles or setting the floor on fire stuffs. So there are different spells attached to different stuffs. These undead here were recently monks living in this monastery, and yeah, they have very dark story. You should check it out in the game. Oh, and this is one of the heaviest weapons in Hellraid.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's like to nail enemies to the floor with it. Oh, and these are undead throwers. They tear parts of their insides and are using as projectiles to attack the player. So you need to carefully avoid his... Yep, exactly. So this is why dodging is so important. And this is, oh yeah, this is my favorite move. It's the headshot with a lightning bolt.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, please. Let him stand so he could do some gymnastic stuff in the air. Oh, oh. He let. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's ready for transportation. All right, so now time for some bigger enemy. So this is Hircus, and Hircus is the infernal beast from the third circle of hell. This is how we categorize him. He's a heavy opponent. Hircus has heavy strikes, so some of them may not be blocked, even with the shield, and you can't parry them as well. So you need to stay agile and focused. Okay, so Hircus is also an example of this axe is really good. So Hircus is an example of the enemy based on actual European medieval folklore, we've did some research and picked up the coolest beasts and we've put them into our game. Oh, that's sad. Oh, this is ice storm stuff. This is, again, this is one of the stuffs that represent the elemental power of freezing. This particular one is casting, I think, ice spikes from the floor. Oh, do the chandelier ride. Come on, come on, come. Yep. This move was a bug. But they decided to leave it as a special move. Alright, and now it's time for Blinded. Blinded is a former paladin who betrayed his own king, so as a kind of cruel punishment he has his helmet nailed to his head and he can't see what he's doing, so he's causing a lot of mess sometimes. Whoa. Get up. Face your destiny. Whoa, whoa. The bones are flying around you, watch out. With the Necromancer.
Hello everyone and welcome to official Hellraid livestream. Hellraid is a first-person hack and slash game and it's coming to PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One next year. With me here today is Mike.
Hi guys.
And my name is Paul and together we will walk you through the very first level of the story mode of Hellraid, the prologue. Now, today is the first time we're showing the game publicly running on Chrome Engine 6, which is a new engine, the same one that powers Dying Light. Another thing to note is that Hellraid is still in development and this is an alpha build, so some bugs are to be expected. If you guys notice anything, please let us know in chat and our members of our team will be answering your questions in chat live. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
All right.
They returned as the prophets foretold, unleashed by the sins of mankind. The seal that trapped them beneath the world was breached, and they arose from the depths of hell. This is the story of Aiden, a low-ranking recruit who deserted his post, not to save himself, but to save the only family he had.
Okay, now the game begins on a mountain trail where our hero, Aiden, is walking towards his childhood home, the village of Redvale.
The old ruins of Corvus. It's not far now.
Aiden deserted his post to make sure that his sister was safe, as he already heard about demons in this area.
abandon me.
May we?
You are my last hope.
And that was the ethereal voice of Merwin, Aiden's sister, and her appearance in the story at this point is as much of a surprise to the hero as it is to the players themselves. So the goal of this mission is to find out where is she, what became of her, and why is she talking inside our heads. Okay, smoke on the horizon, what that might be.
Red Veil's burning. Did I come all this way for nothing?
And I'm sure we're all surprised.
That day our mother died. The day she was burned alive. Do you remember?
I can still hear her screams.
So, I am sure that when you guys tuned into the stream, you did not expect a game like Hellraid to be a hiking simulator, so no worries, the fighting's coming quite soon. Actually, it's just round the bend. Well, how did I know, right? The first 3 skeletons of the game. I hope you know them. Yeah, I see a magical item there, so we can pick that up, Mike, I guess. And a healing potion, nice. But it's actually worse than what we were using so far. Okay. Now, you have just witnessed the basics of combat in Hellraid, and in Hellraid every weapon has a fast light attack. Mike, please. Okay, and a strong overpowering one. Okay. Mike can also parry with any weapon, but it requires careful timing in combat. I'm gonna show it in the next one.
They said our mother was evil, a witch. She was connected to life and life's mysteries, and so are we.
Is my sister still alive? Or have I just lost my mind? Another crazy nutter hearing voices in his head.
Okay, so we're near the ruins that we have seen in the beginning of the demo, and there is a weapon that we set up here, a magical one this time. Okay, so this is a mace, and as such, okay, let's put it on, I guess. The merciless skull crusher. Yep, I love it. Higher critical chance. Now the thing is that we wanted in Hellraid to play differently with any weapon. So this is a blunt weapon, and it deals more damage to skeletons and has a higher chance to stagger them in combat, on top of its magical property, which is, I think, the merciless, so it's critical chance. Yeah, I think it's the critical chance. We'll get to use it soon enough. Yep, crossbowman. Okay, so there is friendly fire. Not dead yet. Nice parry. Whoa, double parry. Cool. So yeah, we just showed the parrying, just as I said. Mike delivers every time. Yep. Okay, in this fight, Mike actually did some dodging. Maybe do some dodging now. Just show him. Oh yeah, so the dashes. You can do a dash in any direction to manage your position in combat, dodge projectiles and attacks, and close the distance to enemies. And actually, legwork is the basis of defense in Hellraid. Nice, okay, flying bows. Okay, so a gem of fire. Those are the basis of an enchantment system in Hellraid, a crafting system if you will, and you can use a combination of those to create some really powerful weapons. But we're not going to be showing
The
this.
elders say the last time hell was unleashed, the leaders of Corvus prayed to the demon lords for mercy. They practiced human sacrifice to appease them, and the Legion of Light slaughtered them all. Their souls were sent to burn in hell, and their bodies were buried to rot. But now, hell is raising an army.
Okay, so we got our first magical weapon, like a magical staff, and this one actually uses the power of ice. And as every staff in Hellraid, it has actually two firing modes. The first one that we're going to show in a moment is a freezing beam. So let's wait for an opportunity to use it.
Here it is.
The opportunity arose. And frozen. And the second one is the homing ice shards, as you can see. Now, at this point in the game, magic is completely overpowered, but we still want to show you some of it.
Yeah, it's still cool.
It's still pretty fun. The freezing beam, as it is, actually deals very little damage, but if you freeze an enemy, you can shatter him regardless of his remaining HP. You're abusing that. Okay. Now that was some surprise attack. I think I see another Skull Crusher there. Is it? No, it's a mace. And it's worse than the one we have. And one more. Okay. The Sword of Under Decapitation, of course. Those of you who got the reference, props. Now, in Hellraid, you don't have to choose whether to be a warrior or a mage. You can mix and match elements of melee, magic, and range combat to make your own personal playstyle. And we want to support that through our skill system, about which we're going to talk in just a minute, as soon as we deal with that undead thrower there. Oof, big that thing. Down he goes. And a level up. Now with each level up you gain a skill point, and already in the beginning of character development you have a multitude of choices. And for the purpose of this demo, we're gonna go with an active skill, the Shield Bash. And as you can see, we already have more than 100 unique skills in the skill system, with thousands of possible builds, and we're gonna expand on that since that's only a work in progress. Okay, let's go ahead. And I think we got a shield there. Yep. So we're gonna use the shield quite soon. It actually changes the way combat works quite significantly, both when used by the player and the enemies. Okay, so our new shield bash. And again. Miss. Nice. Yes, you can shield that as well. Okay, done. Let's check the shield, and it's worse than the one we have. Okay, we got 5 health potions, so that's quite a lot, but we might still go to the side area here. We set it up so in case Mike got low, he had some healing potions potentially in the barrels here, and he can also enjoy the views on the way. In the full game, of course, there will be multiple side areas, and there will actually even be side quests, but this is the first level, and we're kinda in a hurry to save the sister, so there's not too much of it, and only gold. But still, you've got 4, so this is a safe number. Okay, let me remind you, this is the first time we're publicly showing the game running on Chrome Engine 6, and what it means for the game is that we're developing it for the new consoles as well, and we're aiming at Full HD in 60 frames per second on both of the next-gen consoles. Now, this new engine also allowed us to expand the levels, create more space, more detailed environments, set up these views that you can see, and use a brand new lighting system. All of that just combines to give Hellraid unequaled graphical quality. And there is another opportunity for exploration in this hut. Okay, so we got a new armor, a plate one, so this is gonna be quite an improvement. New bracers and a magical stuff. Now let's take a look at the inventory. Mike's gonna assign weapons to quick slots now, so he has access to them in combat. And we can also take a look at the new armor. Now, the plate armor is much heavier, but it also offers better protection. Now, right now, the game is still in alpha, so all icons looks the same still, but we're working on it, and no worries, it will change in the final version. Okay, let's go. Okay, new gloves looking good.
And new stuff.
Yep. We'll check it out in a moment. As you can probably already can tell, it shoots lightning. Nice. Good aim. It's actually not too easy to do. Mike had to get it right. Nice. Okay. So this one shoots a stream of concentrated lightning, and as such it can actually cut off limbs. And the idea here was to make sure that even magic users had some fun with dismemberment. Yeah, and we're almost in the village. Or maybe over the hill. Yeah, just over the hill.
The villagers killed our mother because her power frightened them, just as we frightened them, even as children. That is why they were so cruel to us, why they shunned us.
Yep, and it's views like that that make us really happy about how Hellraid looks on the new engine. So the transition was a good thing. Are you gonna try the thing? Let's see. Nope. Oh, a bit too much. Yeah, there's a thing actually when you cut off 2 limbs off of a zombie or an undead, it's actually gonna try to bite you. It looks extremely sweet, but it's hard to do because as I said, the magic is extremely overpowered at the moment, and it actually kills them before it happens. But we'll get it right, no worries. Oh, headshot. Okay, so we got a 2-handed weapon here. Those are much more powerful than normal weapons, but also much slower. And of course you cannot use a shield with those, but I guess you could probably figure it out on yourself, right? By yourself. And there's one to the right, here, okay, and another thrower. And one more. Okay. So Mike actually did quite a fun thing there. You can actually wind up your attack and then dash forward to just execute it like safely. So it's a fun thing to do, and normally it's gonna need a skill, but in this build you can actually do it whenever. So uninteresting, this cool. I think we just got a skill point back there, so maybe let's assign it. Now to go with our tanky theme for this playthrough, we're gonna go with a passive skill this time, the Elemental Resilience one. And we've played through the demo like 100 times already, so we know that it's gonna come in handy quite soon. Okay, let's go. Poor Bessie here. Okay, so that's the village. The house of the sister. The goal of this mission is on the other side of it, so we'll have to fight our way through. Okay, so another enemy in the distance. Okay. So we did that on purpose. Those guys, when they explode near you, deal extremely heavy damage, even through the resistance and armor. But Mike can actually use those in combat with just a little bit of creativity. Flying bows, cool. There's one more. Good dodging. And I think a magic weapon, but I think, yeah, the requirements were too high. We cannot equip it yet. Okay, what awaits us here? Oh, okay, so those are the elemental enemies. They deal more damage when they hit you, of course fire damage, so our elemental resistance will help here. And they are more resistant to fire damage, so those exploders wouldn't deal nearly as much damage to them. Yeah, and they're gone. The last of them, or more are coming. Yeah, more are coming. So let's deal with those before we go looting around. Oh, a bit too close. One more there. Okay, so the two-handed approach. And one more. We blocked it. Okay, so Hellraid features hundreds of thousands of randomly generated items, and you've seen loot falling out of enemies all the time. But here we set up an example of a more powerful blue item, the Bloody Champion of Slaughter. Cool name. So it actually deals more damage, and I think it drains health as well, so it's going to become quite useful. And this is the 4th tier of rarity in items. The max tier, the 5th tier, we haven't have a name for it yet. The unique items or legendary items will need a lot more work to find. But this is quite powerful already. You can take those hits onto your shield, but it actually drains quite a lot of stamina, so you cannot do this indefinitely. Or they will break through your guard. Oh, 2 more here. I guess 4 portions are enough. And meet the Hercus. This is the boss of the first level of the game, an enemy that we based heavily on European medieval lore. And quite a nasty creature at that. Oh, okay, good dodge. And we dealt some damage to him as well. Okay, that's too close. Okay, so as you can see, you cannot block his attacks, even with a shield, so we're gonna drop the shield to gain a little bit of speed in combat, and hopefully that will help Mike dodge attacks. We're still on 3 health potions, so we're gonna do fine. That would be pretty embarrassing if we died here. New one, yeah. Here's a new one. Okay, charge, nope. And almost there. Just a few hits. And here we go, finish the move. And this is it. This is the end of our presentation of Hellraid.
Bardzo dużo czasu poświęcamy na ciągłe poprawianie, udoskonalanie naszego systemu walki. Mamy trochę hopla na tym punkcie, bo w sumie o tym jest ta gra. Żeby dokładnie zrozumieć filozofię walki mieczem, zgłosiliśmy się do stowarzyszenia ARMA. To jest stowarzyszenie zajmujące się studiowaniem i odtwarzaniem starodawnych europejskich sztuk walki. No i to, co zobaczyliśmy, mocno powracało nasze dotychczasowe wyobrażenie. Siła ataku dwuręcznym mieczem bierze się z wyrzucenia rąk przed siebie i późniejszej rotacji na rękojeści. Nie ma czegoś takiego jak zamach. Jak bierzesz zamach, to giniesz. To wszystko, co zobaczyliśmy na tej sesji, nie da się 1 do 1 przenieść do gry. Walki FPP nie mock-upujemy, ponieważ ilość nakładu pracy na późniejszą obróbkę tego materiału jest porównywalna do tego, jakbyśmy zrobili to od początku dokładnie, ustalając każdą trajektorię, przyspieszenia, pozycje, pośrednie klatki. Dlatego siadamy do tego ręcznie właśnie z Łukaszem, który jest naszym głównym animatorem. Jest to bardziej korunkowa robota, a pozbywamy się zakłóceń, które aktor ma na sobie, czyli ruch ciałem, skręty, rotacje, które na przykład byłyby korzystne przy mock-upowaniu walki mieczem do gry TPP. Jest na rynku bardzo dużo gier, które w TPP fajnie tą walkę pokazują. Z FPP tych tytułów nie jest tak dużo, poza tym można tam do wielu rzeczy się przyczepić. My chcemy ten realizm, tą efektowność, to poczucie bycia w centrum walki, no zrobić lepiej.
Hi, together with Hellraid dev team, would like to thank all of you for your support and continuous interest in our game. This year, we present a press demo at E3, and now we want to show you some of it. So here it is, and again, big thank you.